Back to work we go. Hello everyone, welcome back. I know this stream is probably gonna get somebody's eyebrows raised. I've not touched this in a while, so like 6 months to be precise. I'm just doing some work in the background here, so you may see the old version of Hotland in the background, and I'll explain that. I'll explain bits and pieces of it, and then I'm gonna start working on it a little bit. Maybe not this version. I'm gonna have to see how I want to break it up. And for everyone that watches this after this has been live for a while, hello! Hey Ryden, nice to see you again. Yes. So don't worry if you don't see me doing anything on screen at the moment. I'm literally just getting assets ready in the background. So this is one of those streams where I can just talk a lot with everyone and come up with ideas and show you little bits of progress as we continue onwards. At the moment, what I'm doing is, you know, the MTT news report that you get in the upper area of Hotland, the one that has the bombs in. I'm literally just working on the artwork for that, trying to do it in high res. So that's why you're not seeing anything at the moment, because I'm in Photoshop. But yeah, nice seeing people back. Hope the microphone's okay. Let's just do that though. I'll show you a bit more around Hotland in a little bit. This one file I haven't touched in, I'm gonna say 6 months. I mentioned that on the update previously, so it's about 6 months. It's pretty crazy when I think about that, because like that was when I did the last teaser for it. There we go. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to use the sprite sheet for Hotland here to make everything in high res, and I'm just using like my own assets as well to make everything good, and then I'll transfer that to the actual main area, you know, like the main part of the level. If that made any sense there. Let's do HD background. I'm now going to do the Metaton news symbols. I may just take the yellow here and then just make it all in Undertale font instead. There we go. If I do that, although I could just, maybe I can get like a news font here. So how you doing, Ryden? I hope I'm just not talking to myself for like the entire time. Do where are we at here? I just need. Let's go through Da font, because Da font is normally cool, and then we can just do like news. I'm trying to get like a very news looking font here. There we go. We got one that kind of looks. Oh, there's one there as well. Which team are you on in Undertale? I'm on save. I went save for obvious reasons, based off the you know what the whole thing that I've been on about with Immersiontale, and then found that I couldn't actually participate. I have a beard. Hi again, Marissa. Nice to see you. So yeah, I can't actually participate in the event this year, which is bad. I would have preferred it if it was later on in the evening, but it's not. So yeah, that kind of sucks. But yeah, for anyone that's just turning up now, this is sexy. It's looking like a Halo C map. Thank you very much. So what I'll do is I'll take you around the area in a bit, and I'll tell you how this all happened in terms of the Hotland incident, because that's a meme with the project. I'm just trying to find a good news-looking font at the moment, and I've got a couple of them from Da Font now, so I think I might just choose either that one. It's like a news sports reporter thing, or a regular one that looks kind of posh. Let's see. I think with Metaton it looks more like the sport one. So we'll go with that, and while we're using that, I'll tell you guys what's going on. Oh wait, demo for personal use only for the... Oh no, I'm gonna have to use the other one then. Let's try. This is the only problem when you get stuff off like freebie websites, is any donation appreciated, blah blah blah. This is the full version. The only problem is, like, obviously the free for there's another one free for personal use. Oh no, there we go. That's fine. The problem with some of this is just trying to get stuff that you can use without it really having a catch to it. There we go. Okay, so I'll take you around Hotland in a moment, and we'll explain how Hotland has taken so long, and I'll go into it in great detail because it's been crazy. So getting back here is a massive achievement for the project, I'd say. Just trying to think of what I was going to say there. And it's mainly just because of how much work has had to go into everywhere else beforehand. And yeah, again, I'll explain it. I'm just trying to find where this font has gone that I just installed. It's... Come on. It's Papyrus Regular. That moment where I got given Papyrus by the Undernet, which was great because I actually needed it. I really needed it. It was crazy. And then I've just been putting out like a lot of teaser stuff recently. Ah, there it was. Newston. Okay. So take this and just Newston normal. Okay. Ah, there we go. MDT news. Now we can do like 300 on the font. 300's maybe a bit too much. Try and bring it down there a little bit. Okay. So if you're hearing me just like blabbering on here, we're going to go into this properly for a little bit, because you've probably at least heard of me mentioning the Hotland incident. This is obviously not Hotland. This is the exit to Hotland from Waterfall. And yeah, there's going to be some lights flickering. There's going to be a bunch of other things, but overall it's pretty cool. Including over here where we have the glowing area with all the particles and everything, and the cool gems on the floor. You've probably seen this in either one of the redone scenes that I did for one of the updated trailers for the Undernet, or you just, you know, caught like glimpses of it. But this was crazy getting to just this part because of all the work that went into this, and this was like the final area of the waterfall update. And then we've got the water that can be reflected on the ceiling there that's actually animated. That looks pretty cool. Classic says, "Hi Mooney, your Undertale arts are so good. I had a health issue last week. Don't know if it was a small heart attack or not." Oh my god. Classic, I hope you're alright. Like, seriously, I hope you're alright. That's crazy. Seriously, hope you get better. Oh my god. Oh yeah, oh, okay, so what I had to do for this was essentially link Waterfall to Hotland, and this is pretty much like the video game in terms of the layout. So Undyne's fight is going to be interesting because Undyne jumps from up here where she can see all of Hotland there. I'm good, just waiting for the results. Ah, thank God. So Undyne comes from back there to get to this area. I'm a summon Bella, says Marisa. Thank you very much. And then she stands on here for when she meets Frisk down there. And then the idea is that she then jumps off here, comes all the way down. And then this is where we have the fight with Frisk. And the idea is that there are going to be different like areas that Frisk is going to have to dive into behind cover because of Undyne's attacks. So we've got like all these stalactites and everything. I'm a summon Koi, says Marissa. Okay, it's no problem. I think what I might do as well is have some of these stalactites possibly fall down. I'm not too sure. But either way, I want it to be kind of cool. And then we've also got the fight that can go on as Frisk's running off here. So we've got the underground water that runs through there, and then we've got this area where it comes to the corner, and then we've got Hotland's sign, which is one that naturally scrolls normally. I've just not got the animation on, and then we ended the demo here previously where man says hello, hello. So we ended the demo previously with this shot here. The idea was I didn't show much of it because I still needed to connect the area up, and yeah, it's crazy because now we get to the part where I get to explain how much work goes into Hotland and just the logic behind it, as well as explaining how I'm gonna probably redo the entirety of this external wall and try and make it look better. Damon said, just saw Trigger Put. Yeah, the short animation is really good, Damon. You should check it out as soon as possible. But, can Immersion Swap have a character called Weederman who's just like the rhythm? What the heck? I think you've asked that before. But, yeah, as you can see, some of the scenery is missing because at this point, this is the version of Hotland that was, I think, 80% done. And the idea was that I still needed to do tiny bits of scenery, like Sansa Sentry Station, the bridge here that would go across, and then we've got to have the water cooler around here, and then down here I'm going to have to make the cave that goes to the River Person's area. So that obviously is going to change that external wall over there a little bit. Then we've got the area to the lab. I'm going to have to put like loads of little pebbles on the floor here and everything to make it look good. Hey, Dark Moon Angelo. But then, of course, I need to link the lab here because, as you can see, this part is not designed to have anything in it at the moment. I'm gonna have to do that with visual trickery, when I do the actual version of the lab properly. Or maybe just try and include a little bit of it in here. It may fit, depending. But as you can see, for scale, we've got Spooky Asgore here and Frisk. This is when I was messing around with the scaling originally. But yeah, this is a slightly modified version of Hotland, and the reason why it's taken so long to get back here primarily is just because the rest of the underground needed to be done, and the reason why I say that is because when I did Hotland, I prototyped it really early on, but I didn't have the Hotland map. You'll hear in like previous demos or updates or streams, you'll hear me saying like I just did not have Hotland done. There was no available stuff for it, so it was a case of I'm just going to have to create it from scratch. And Hotland really informed the rest of the visual quality, so that's why the quality jumped up massively since the Hotland update. But of course, what happens is, as you go further up through Hotland here, you start encountering problems, and that's because you get to different areas. Hey John, you get to different areas where things happen that are weird for 3D. And what I mean is, like, here, we've got to have the set of the cooking show, which I need to light. I obviously need to light this entire area better. But for this in particular, we have to light this really good. I'm at the process, I'll show you in a little bit, of doing all of the assets for the cooking show, which we're going to heavily borrow from Toriel's house yet again. So we've gone to Toriel's spooky IKEA warehouse to get the stuff for that. But what's weird is, in certain areas of Hotland like this entire cooking show area is in the dark, basically. When you walk into it as Frisk, it's totally pitch black, and then all the lights come on. So, basically, I'm going to have to make this kind of like a studio stage. And a lot of these areas, I feel like, I'm going to have to make like studio stages that look strange when you look at them from the outside, but it makes sense when you walk from the inside. Because otherwise, it's like strange cave formations and everything else. And I figure because Metaton is all about TV and showmanship and everything, that they would just have these like fake sets made up. No. But it makes sense that way. It's just strange having like an entire set dressing going on. And I'll show you, I had something kind of like that previously. Marissa says, I'm pretty sure Hotland is the longest area in the game. It's big. It's big. Second only to Waterfall. Waterfall is massive. Yeah, then we come up to the second floor here, and there's a bunch of stuff that I need to include in the second floor, including the actual art section, you know, where So Sorry's meant to be. We're not including So Sorry, but we'll at least give the reference to it with like an easel just saying like the same text as in game where it's like, oh, I'm sorry, the art lessons are on at like 10 or something. On I think it's October the 18th or something they're supposed to be on. And then going down here, we got all this stuff going on. We've got Muffet's area above, which is, it's got heat on the bottom of it, which is why it looks orange like that. It's got all of the larger areas up here have the glow from the heat coming off the lava. It's building up everywhere. We've got to do the whole deal with the smoke or the steam coming out of the vents there that will throw Frisk all over the place. And then we come down here. This is where we're going to have an encounter with the guards. Or rather, the character that replaces RG1 and 2. And then this area is right, like, linking into the bomb area here, which is what I'm currently doing assets for in the info shop in the background. So the bomb area is pretty crazy. And then as we go up here again, we reach the very top. And what I'm thinking of doing is, at this point, outside of like 1 or 2 shots, just like getting rid of some of the other stuff below, just so it runs better. But yeah, again, gonna need to light all of this better, but we've got moving textures and everything else. How are you? It's been 3 weeks, right? I honestly don't know. I'm fine, thank you very much, Joel. Hope you're okay. Then we go all the way over here. We take a long walk to Muffet's area. Muffet's area I'm going to be redesigning because I finally found the sprites that weren't used in game for Muffet's supposed parlor area. So this area is going to be completely redesigned, have a door in it, and that's going to be interesting to do because I want this to be a completely separate area internally. Just so I can have way more detail, so we won't be seeing all of this stuff. It'll be totally different and look a lot cooler. I'll explain why in a little bit as well. But yeah, as we get here, we've got the resort and the core in the background. Now over here needs to kind of look a little bit like this, just a little bit brighter. And of course, I've got to add the door on here. We've got Catty and Bratty's place. I need to expand this potentially to include Catty and Bratty's place. So I might need to actually redo this entire plateau, which it isn't too bad. I've done it before. It's either that or I just make it slightly larger to the side and then go ahead and retexture it. But yeah, Catty and Bratty's place is going to be fun to do. What happening, says John? I'm explaining just what's going on with Hotland and then some other stuff. I wish it would have a playthrough like a game. You did so good, Moody. Reminds me of Mark 2 or 3 Forge maps from Halo. While he's on the way home. Oh, nice. And then, of course, we've got to include the back here, where we've got the area into the core. But I'll explain stuff for like what's happened the past couple of days, and then we'll go into the Hotland incident. So, basically, what's been happening the last couple of days, I could have made a lot more progress, but we've had issues. Like, my little one couldn't get to sleep the other night, and was trying to get to sleep at like 4 in the afternoon, and just couldn't. So I ended up cancelling all my streams and everything then, because it took me till about 11 or 12 p.m. to get it to go to sleep. And then I think before that I cancelled another set of streams. I think that was related to something, again, very similar. So yeah, the past couple of days has been crazy with trying to do streams and then having to cancel them. So if you've not seen me online in a little bit, that's why. As for the Hotland incident, as to what took so long, that's fine, my man, says Dark Moon Angelo. Yeah, it's just a lot of people kind of, including myself, I like streaming on an almost daily basis, but when you've got to look after a child, obviously everything is up in the air, as it were. It's one of those things where anything can change at any moment. What had happened is we'd had to do some massive cleaning because of bugs, is the best way of putting it. And we did some cleaning like the entire day. She just couldn't get to sleep because we disturbed her sleep pattern and then just wouldn't go to sleep. So yeah, it took me forever. But yeah, when it comes to Hotland and why it's taken so long to get back here, I mentioned it before, we went from Hotland doing all this detail in Hotland to then going back and saying, well, we need to now do the rest of the areas like this. So then immediately, I say we, it's me. There's nobody else working on this apart from me and the voice actors. So what ended up happening was we went from this to the ruins and New Home, because they were very similar to each other in terms of architecture. I thought, right, I'll start making those look good. Then once those looked good, I'd already got the True Lab done ages ago, and it still looks pretty good, so I'm not going to change much on that. But I needed to then do Waterfall, which was in February, if you remember that update, if you were here for that. If not, Waterfall's update section is nuts, because you see me panicking like mad, because I'm like, okay, I've had so long to do the rest of this, but because I have to prioritize my child more, it means that I'm going to be getting less time to do everything, so I need to get the major parts done as much as possible. So I was like basically rushing Waterfall, and thank God that got done. But then the problem is that this has had a knock-on effect. It's not only affected the visual quality, but I wanted to get the core done, the interior of the core, because it's an internal area, kind of like you'd expect with the ruins, or some depictions of the ruins. So I was like, okay, I'll do the core. But then I was thinking to myself, well, if I have a shot of the core from like underneath like this, from outside, I'm going to need to build the core. So I built the core up in Hotland here, which it needed anyway. And then I was like, okay, now I've done that. Now I can do the interior of the core. And then I was like, oh wait, I just realized I need to have the rest of Hotland done, because you see the exterior over here from the core on the interior over here as you're moving from one place to the next. So it's like, okay, so now I need to do this area. And then I'm like, wait a minute, the back of the resort has an area where you can see straight through into the resort. So that's going to need to be modeled. So I was like, okay, now I need to model that as well. And then I was like, wait a minute, what else haven't I modeled? It's like, oh, I haven't got the lab done because the lab is down here. So then I had to go and do the lab as well. And then I'm thinking to myself, well, what else is there to do in Hotland? As you can tell, there's a lot of things that connect to each other. And then part of Waterfall's update was the whole deal with linking it to Hotland, because obviously from Waterfall you can see Hotland, even Undyne can see it. So it's a case of going in and being like, okay, there we go, we can see Hotland from Waterfall here, and that's not too bad. The overall depiction of it doesn't look too bad from this angle. But essentially it was a large knock-on effect of, okay, we'll get this done, and then that done, and then that done, and it kept going and going and going and going, and it never stopped until I've eventually got back here now. For those who want to know what's going on with the core is done. Outside of like small details that I want to add, it's done. Like the basics are done. It all looks real nice. I've tried making it look pretty much like you'd expect it, or like the description states, in terms of like an area where you don't feel safe in after leaving a party, which is crazy. I just accidentally closed 10 tabs. I could reopen them, I couldn't be bothered. I hope I didn't need them, says Dr. Angelo. Do you like Angry Birds Star Wars? I bought it from another program, says Joel. I don't really do Star Wars or Angry Birds. But yeah, I'm slowly getting Hotland done now. We've got a load of assets that need to be done. Like, what was the last thing I did here that I can load up for you for the moment? So we got the bookshelf area, which is, it's Toriel's spooky IKEA. And for those who haven't seen that, there's a previous version of this where it had really temporary lighting in, and it had Toriel in the background, and the joke was that because there were that many assets in here that I was using, it literally just became a spooky version of IKEA with Toriel stood in the background. The assets themselves, apart from the cooker, were modelled and themed after stuff from Animal Crossing, in terms of the way that they look. They've got all these rounded edges and pretty cool look to them. It just looks nice. So I was like, yeah, I'll do it like that. But some of the stuff we'll be reusing for the cooking show is stuff like the electric cooker there, some of these different shelving units, and then I ended up making everything past here because Metaton has a bunch of different larger tables. So it ended up being a case of, okay, I'll make these tables. The other night I had to cut in and merge this one here because it's a mixture of this one and this one over here, which is custom built to feature the sink there. And then this is one that the microwave sits on. But yeah, these are all stuff that I did recently to put in the cooking area, which is going to be cool. Then we've got the water cooler and the sentry station. The sentry station's really old at this point. I'm trying to see if there's any bits of the core that I can kind of show off without spoiling like the lighting or whatever. Let's try. No. I was going to say I'll try one of them, but I've got a couple of them at the moment that show off the lighting and I don't want to spoil that. But yeah, there's a ton of stuff to consider. Like, for instance, here we go. So if I open this now, so as you can see, this is the resort interior, right? And this is, I think, the full resort interior. Yeah, with the show lights and all the other details and everything else, right? Including the different notices and Papyrus looking for Toby. And yeah, the crazy thing about this area that not many people consider in 3D and that I need to look into, especially at this corner over here because of later on, because of Catty and Bratty's place, is, oh, yep, you can actually see outside from here and the front here through these windows and the doors. And again, another thing that people don't consider is the fact that the dining room might actually have windows in it. We just don't see them. The way that the dining room works is it's obviously very big, but for that side of the resort, from what I remember looking at the sprite work, there are windows over that side. And it's overlooking Hotland anyway. So I now need to make sure that Hotland is visible through these windows. You know, so that's... It's that knock-on effect of, oh, I've done one thing. Oh, now I need to do this other thing and complete it and make sure it's absolutely perfect before I link these two areas. Because if it's not, well then it's going to look crap, you know, or it's just going to look off. There's that lighting issue there that was weird. If I remember rightly, I just need to put a yellow door there instead of that one. But then we made all of these up the last time we touched this area, which I remember, which was... these were all like food items based off McDonald's posters, if I remember rightly, that you can actually buy. So you've got like the face steak, the legendary hero, Starfray, and I can't remember which font that was that I used, but these were literally like almost one for one for McDonald's posters. So you could search up like McDonald's and probably find those exact posters, but just with McDonald's stuff on instead. Then we've got the menu over there, and all of Burger Pants' facial expressions, which is crazy. But yeah, it's stuff like that it's not like trying to get all this stuff done is just not. Let's just go back to that one for a moment. Spam Crumite says, hello Dave, was having dinner. Wow, what did I miss? It's not. Be cool and make a monorail that goes map to map. Like, oh, like in VR or something. That'd be cool. I put you on FNF Cataclysm. It's my favorite song and it's fine. Oh, nice, cool. So yeah, what I want to do is eventually put all these kind of like details. Oh, the reason why it does that is because it can't find the textures, which it can. It's just, it's been lazy. Because I moved the target one folder across to make sure everything was fine, and now it's got to find them again, which might take a little while. There we go. But yeah, without all the shaders and everything, that's what it looks like. And then with the shaders, we get a nice look into Hotland from where Undyne would be standing, which is over here. But oh boy, it's taken a while. I feel like at this point, this area of the underground is just taking forever to make. I'm gonna put us here, even though we're supposed to be focusing on Hotland. I'm just gonna put us there because I like the whole detail with waterfall. Let's see. Just responding to some stuff here. And then yeah, I'll get back onto stuff because I've got, like I was saying, I've got the sprite sheet of sorts to copy for the textures here, and I'm just gonna do that for MTT News. And then the idea is I can like quickly go around and just make up all these different rooms. It's weird how Metaton has like a load of different stage sets that are just stuck onto Hotland that surprisingly don't burn. It's really weird. Really, really weird. I need to make the giant bomb as well with the countdown on it. That's going to be interesting. I'll show you what I've done in terms of like Photoshop stuff in a moment as well for the MTT News stuff. Gonna have to I'm gonna have to get the 3D model for I think Metaton again and do the MTT News logo. It's either that or I just can do a different version. I'm just trying to like figure out how this is all gonna look because of the way that it is. I can make a fake wall for a texture there, I think. I'm gonna save this and I'll drag it in and show you guys what I've been up to, because otherwise you just get to see like no progress for the time being. Let's see. Where's the Hotland file? It's in here amongst like everything else. I'm just making a missile spam build while using you as the background music. Is that rude? Does that mean no? That's fine. That's fine as long as you're getting entertainment out of it. It's fine. I'm trying to find the Hotland file because I had like all the textures in it. Where are we here? Core textures, blah blah blah. Exported assets. And trying to find this one file is really annoying. There's waterfalls textures. MTT resort textures, library textures. You'd think I'd have Hotland in here because of how it loads up. A lab. Let's try just searching Hotland. Nothing in there for Hotland. Okay, so where's it pulling that from then? I thought I'd stop playing Gundam Breaker after I beat story mode. It's what I tend to do with a lot of games. However, I'm still playing. Where's this pulling assets from? Because it's got to be somewhere else now. Oh, I see. It's pulling them from the custom folder. Would you play Underbros? Potentially. At the moment, I'm just kind of like chilling for fan games and stuff because I've got so much to do. I'm not going to make any promises. I'm just going to have to make a Hotland file. I'll have to make a Hotland file and then transfer everything into it. News folder, Hotland textures. Okay, if I just do this for a moment, let me just go. I'll just save this real quick as a PSD, and then away we go. Right, downloads, Hotland textures, news report. There we go. Okay, there we go. I just realized as well I don't have to do the MTT news thing at the top because I can do that in 3D. So, how's Breaker 4 doing? I am going to be playing it in a little bit. I need to finish the story still. I've just been obviously blocked from playing it because of dealing with other stuff. It's juggling a lot of things at the moment that's killing me right now. You know. So, that's why I've not been able. Have you used the mace? It's so dumb. No. So for anyone that obviously remembers this part about Undertale, this is the background of MTT News, and this is essentially where Metaton is like messing around with you and is floating right in front of you with this fake background, making it look as though you're on like a news program. And I decided I'd do it all in HD. So what I did was I took the Metaton that I already have, and obviously the annoying dog model, and I took the silhouettes of the front panel, so then I could go ahead and place these exactly where the sprite work does it, so that everything is super accurate to the sprites. And then on top of that, I've also got up here, we've got the stars in the exact positions, but what I've decided to do is, because the art team for the game obviously had the stars be really small, what I've done is I've kind of varied the scale of them a little bit, because it just looks a little bit cool, you know, in terms of, gives them a little bit of visual variety. But that's all in the exact same places, and it's the exact same design as the game. That's really fun. So I'm just doing that now and making that up, and then, like I was saying, coming up with other ideas for the other sections of Hotland. What I need to do, really, is take the other versions of Hotland that I have. I'll show you them, because some of them are just fail. And I'll explain why, and then we'll go over, like, what I want to do, because it's crazy. Like, here we go. There's a mock-up of one of the other versions. Oh god, dude, I'm gonna show you that. That one's so funny. It's so cursed. The Great Mace. It's just called the Mace is busted. Interesting. I use poster images for my VFX films as classic. Cool. So this is like, oh, I forgot I need to put the pipe in there as well. This is a very old version of Hotland, where I was busy blocking everything out, as you can see, and getting stuff done. But this is the first version of the hotel, and it looks terrible. It looks more like a hospital. What is that massive pole? That is the elevator shaft that goes straight up to New Home. Because that's actually in there when you go in. There's another elevator that goes, instead of to the core, it just goes straight up to New Home. So there's going to be that and the core next to each other. Oh, I saw that, Damon. But yeah, this was me trying to figure out how I would build the resort based on the sprite work, and it was nuts. People talk about Dark Souls 2's level design. The thing is, like, doing sprite work here, obviously, some of it is interpretation, but other bits of it are just, like, they make no sense and could only happen with cartoony logic. Because as you can see here, I've tried doing it, so it's big enough that the interior fits inside of it. So we can just... The idea was that we can just walk in like this, and as you can see, I've been blocking it out. And then that would have been done. But the problem, as you can see, is by making it the exact same size as the interior, it just looks goofy. It doesn't match the inside. And the only thing that I can come up with, literally, is just, it's cartoon logic. It doesn't need to make sense if you only show the outside and then the inside being totally different. But it's so screwy, you know. Isn't the resort supposed to be like a city? Not really, from what I can tell. Like, we've obviously got the brickwork and everything around here to kind of pretty up the resort, as it were. But from what I can tell, it's self-contained on this plateau because right next to it is the core. It can't be like its own separate little city thing because of where it is. So again, it's left open to interpretation. It's like Muffet's area here when you try and do Muffet's area, and I've tried just connecting it all with like spider webs. You can see all the individual spider webs here. It just looks absolutely nuts in terms of detail, but I can't just be having that in a standard area, so now I'm going to have to like go ahead and do that in its own little section, which is right there. But yeah, that was the first version of trying to get the resort done. And then I remember, what was it? I tried doing another version of Muffet's area. What was it? Let's see. At least DS2 had logic that your player was losing memories, so how they see the world is not fully how it matches up. Oh, that's cool. So this is kinda what I'm gonna have to do downstairs as well with the cooking area. But this kind of shows it off a little bit better. This is a prototype that I wanted to do for Muffet's area. The idea being that Muffet's area is kind of suspended on these two sections. And all of it... Because again, all of Hotland really is about showmanship. You know, you've got the bit with the dancing. Then you've got the cooking show. Then you've got the news report. And then in between that, you've got Muffet selling her wares. You know, selling the donuts and everything. And then you've got the resort at the end of it. And I was thinking about it, and I'm like, how can I like lean into that a little bit? And one of the ideas I had was literally having Muffet's area kind of be a little bit inspired by, I think it was X-Tale I got this idea from, where I was like, yeah, I can have it. Isn't this all over a plane of lava? Yes. So it makes no sense how any of this is actually still not burned as well. But yeah, the idea for Muffet's area really early on was this, and it was inspired by X-Tale. And the idea was that Muffet was actually going to have this area where it was essentially a large kind of like bakery area. And the idea was that the backdrop for it was going to be fake. And I mentioned this on one of the other streams to somebody where I was saying, like, the idea was that I'm getting the impression from Hotland that basically a lot of the things that like Metaton and everybody else in Hotland actually want can never be attained by them. You know, they can never really reach that while they're in the underground. So it's this like very depressing sort of like view of things when you think about it. Like, because Waterfall has the depressing melancholy feel of like learning the monster's history, feeling sorry for them, learning a lot about their personal struggles and stuff. But at the time I was going for this, hey Voidly, at the time I was going for this, I was thinking to myself, well, Hotland is basically a lot of wishes that have just manifested themselves as, or hopes and dreams that have manifested themselves physically as this kind of like fake facade. And they're just, it's not going to happen either way until they actually leave the underground, so it's all just an act. You know, and Muffet's area was literally going to be like Muffet trying to run a bakery kind of style area for the underground, but as you can see, it's way too big. So like real life. Oh, that's depressing. But yeah, the idea was that it was going to be like this fake backdrop where essentially Muffet wants to sell baked goods to everybody, but she can't because, like Metaton has all these shows and everything, but can't leave the underground, so we'll never get to fulfill that dream, and it was kind of the same with Muffet. I've been told I'm blunt. Oh, it's fine. Maybe fireproof wood. I could always do that as a joke. Just have like a poster on here somewhere that just says fireproof wood. Or something like that. 100% fireproof wood. No, because that would make sense. But But yeah, this is what this mess was going to be really early on, was Muffet's not exactly broken dream, but just unattainable dream. You know, including like all the stage lights and everything that would come on eventually and stuff like that. It's all fake. You know, Hotland is all fake when you think about it, especially because of like the lab and alphas. But as you can tell, this is an old version because it's got everything that was there, but there's no real textures on anything, and it's slowly developing, like the pillar there and everything. It's blocked out, so I know where things are going. But yeah, it's crazy. One of the other struggles I have with Hotland is that you can just see everything from each floor. That's one of the killer things, is that when you put Hotland all together, the way that I've done it makes sense, but it's so bad for frame rate. I'm gonna have to find like other ways to help save on frames wherever I can, but yeah, it kills the frame rate like mad because of all the detail and the fact that it's all layered on top of each other. So as you can see here, this is the version that I've kept showing off for ages now. Let's just go here with this. So this is the version that I've been showing off forever, and I think it's the version with the core in. Yeah. So again, stuff's gonna have to be changed. Lighting's gonna have to be changed. The exterior wall is gonna have to be redone properly. Ooh. I'm going through a wall. The upper floor here with the resort, I'm gonna have to redo that. I think I'm gonna have to block it out again and then redo it. Which, if I remember rightly, I had trouble the last time doing that. Did I? I'm just gonna check. Did I try this and then turn it? Yeah, I did. Right. So, oh, wait. Can I just? Oh, yes! Oh, well done, well done. And that is okay. So the big deal with this, and why I'm getting so hyped, is that I've still not applied the modifiers. So for anyone who doesn't know 3D and wants to know what the heck that means, it means essentially I can save a lot of time by just editing certain bits of this and then just retexturing. I won't have to go through the entire process of rebuilding all of that over again. It's just repositioning vertices and then redoing the textures, which is great, especially because now I've figured out various different ways of doing things. Got me away from a lot of toxic people who made my bad habits worse. Do you have a Discord, or did you stop using it? I ended up not using Discord for ages, and then I got one just for my community. So the only thing I really do now is use Discord to talk to the Immersiontale staff, and that's about it. Hey Skyward! It's been a while since I visited. Indeed! You can actually clearly see the core here as well, made out of Sonic textures. And there's, again, I've mentioned it before, there's a couple of jokes on there that I might focus on, and I might just show off at certain points, but only I think it's me and Voidly know about those jokes properly, about what is actually wrote on there, because of some of it being in Wingdings. But I tried making this as accurate as it can be, apart from the bit where it's clipping through the top there. I only just noticed that. But yeah, a lot of these textures are from, like, I think it was Sonic Generations, just because they were easy to get hold of. And then a lot of this is, like, I've looked at the sprite work for the core and just tried to model it all the same, and then texture it the same. So yeah, that's cool, showing off the core like that, especially because of the big pipe there. Damian Angelo says, I remember you having a Discord as I DM'd you as a joke image once or twice, but then I forgot when. I noticed I couldn't find you anymore. I didn't delete it. It's still available. And I don't think I've blocked anyone. It's mainly like, I don't respond to randoms, of course. I've said that many a time. But yeah, recently I've started getting way more DMs from randoms coming up. And it's just been me locking down my DMs and just be like, look, I'm sorry, I'm not talking to random people, so I don't mean any offense by it. It protects me from people who would potentially do me harm. Ooh. If I DM'd you, I would have told you who I was. So stop it. Oh yeah, that's fair. Yeah, the thing is, there's been a lot of people in the Undernet that have got, like, DMs from people, and they've just been, like, really bad, is the best way of describing it. I can't, obviously, go into too much detail, but, yeah, behind the scenes, there's a couple of things going on with, like, DMs, and people coming into DMs and just being really nasty, or just being stupid is the best way of putting it to members of staff. And that's another reason why I've closed down my DMs. I'm just like, no, I'm not having any of that. You know, so it sucks because I like talking to people. Like, even just random strangers, I like talking to people about video games and other things. But the problem is just you never know who you're going to get. Like, I'm happy because for the most part, everybody that I seem to talk to is really nice. But then you'll just get like the odd one person that isn't, that just ruins everything, and it's just like, oh, that's great. Yeah. I'm just switching around and going through things here to show you what's actually been going on as well recently. Life is like a box of chocolates, says David. So this is the setup for the button for the core, and also for Hotland. I didn't realize they were the same buttons that were used in both, possibly to save on sprite, sprite size or whatever, like the tiles and stuff that they use for sprites. But I've instead done it as 3D, and I can just activate either one though, which is pretty cool with shape keys. All that is two planes that are cylinders. And they each have a different color on, and then when I change the value, it just raises or lowers one or the other, which is nice because it's automated. So that's going to be fun to have that be animated for the core and Hotland, because it doubles up for the laser drone area, I think it is. The little laser drones, they get turned on and off by that thing. Trying to think what else can be shown off here. These core pipes that I did a while ago, I'm going to try and include those somewhere because I really want to. The problem is trying to find places to use them because I really want to. I'm thinking of putting them on the walls in certain locations, and then actually drawing pipes as well, because I've remembered that. Where is it? If I go to File, Curve, and then Bezier, if I remember rightly, I can just go to Edit here, delete verts, and then we can just draw. So, what is it? Draw. No, that's annotate. Draw. And I forgot totally about this, even though I did it like ages ago, but we can do that, right? So that draws that line in midair. And then I can just go ahead. This is me just reminding myself as well about this. But then we can go ahead and mess around with the way that it looks and stuff. I really am annoyed that I forgot about that, because it would have made it so much easier, because I spent like ages doing these pipes originally. I remember I was like, oh, I'll just extrude here and then turn here, and it was like an entire stream of just making this one section. Instead, I could have just done it like that, where I'll just draw here, it'll be fine, just straighten this out a little bit. So that's annoying. and then I totally forgot about that. Even though I used that trick in Waterfall for Temmie Village. And then let's see, there's the lab, which I can't show off yet. Dog Shrine, the end of the Dog Shrine. I suppose, there we go, I can show off Undyne's house. Okay, so Undyne's house, I showed that off previously. A little bit, but the thing I'm having trouble with, I think, is the lighting. I'm not sure whether that looks okay or not. So I'll let you guys decide on whether that's a little bit too dark or whatnot. Because I think maybe it can use a little bit brighter lighting. I'm just not too sure myself at this point. No. I also like the way we've got the reflection on the eyes over here. That's a pretty neat feature. I love small details like that. And then I've actually managed to connect it to Waterfall outside, which looks pretty cool. Yeah, what does everybody think? A little bit brighter or what? That house looks menacing. I mean, it's meant to. It's Undyne's house. What do you think? Make the inside just a little bit brighter? So I think if it's a bit brighter, I think it's that one. So I want it to be decently lit, but not overly lit, is the best way of putting it. Like, it's maybe a little bit better. Because the idea is to try and make it look as good as it can. It's going to be fun having Undyne running around here while it's on fire later on. Did I put the... Yeah, I put the vents in there, that's fine. Oh, the small detail I need to put on there is the fish tea cozy. I need to actually make that as well. But yeah, the whole idea with Undyne's is, as you can see, it's not properly rendered because I'm using the interior as the... Or rather, the exterior is the interior. So the idea is that when we have a scene where this is going to be shown, I can hopefully fake this. And, like here, when we have Undyne answer the door, hopefully, I can just, like, render that off as a background. Because there'll be nothing in the background that's too crazy. Well, hopefully, I can figure some way of taking this and putting it inside of the actual fish that we've already got, and then because they're literally the same thing, just like trick the shot somehow. Because if you remember rightly, when the door opens, it's Undyne comes out from like this angle, so maybe I can just for that angle make like a plane there. And trick, like, to take that as a screenshot and then just put that on the plane so it tricks it. You'll have that behind Undyne. And then have Undyne come out. Like, for this angle, could probably do the same there. Just take, like, an image of what it looks like. Just mainly the doorway. And then just have it come out. Like, either way, like, coming up with solutions to this kind of stuff is crazy. Blender's Command has tons of shortcut keys and clone buttons for making shapes too. Yeah, it's really crazy. It's really helpful though. Then, well, it's just there's not really much else to show that I can show yet. That's good because of the demo. You know, because like I'm still waiting for stuff on the demo. Oh, Dark Moon, you're the person you're talking to or talking about is Damon. Damon made the Iron Giant build. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the time being. We're up to there should be. Should be all fine. It's the one thing that's been killing me about all of this. When GB4, says John, I'll be going on it in a little bit. Not too much longer. But yeah, the thing that's killing me with this so far is I get worried when I make no progress. Or when I hardly make any progress. Because it's just... It's depressing because of how much I seem to have steamrolled progress. You know, like, I'll just keep going and keep going and going, and nothing really stops me or halts me until now, where I'm, like, having to think about stuff and redo bits and really think about how to present things. That's where it's killing me at the moment. Sucks. Joel says, I'm going to leave now. See ya. See you, Joel. Thank you very much. That reminds me, did I keep the arrays in the, Oh my god, they're separate arrays, aren't they? Did I... Oh my god, no wonder. If I convert that to mesh... Each one of these is an array, which technically, if I wanted to smooth out the frame rate, I should get rid of the arrays. Or as many of them as possible. It's little things I've been learning that severely help, especially when it comes to stuff like this. Because again, for those who don't understand, an array is basically like a list of things. Or you're generating a list of things. So for this, it's like I'm generating a list of the same piece of geometry over and over and over again. It's, what I'm going to eventually do is just start placing... Yikes, that's a lot. So, the only other area that I had a ton of arrays in was the core. Hang on. Let's try and see if I can find a bit of the core that will not spoil anything. I don't have any... Yeah, I don't have any lights in this version, I don't think. Not proper ones, anyway. Yeah, that's fake lights. But, the core is, like, really bad for this kind of stuff, in terms of arrays. Primarily because I do have a ridiculous amount of lights that I've made in, like, 3D. And each one of them is arrayed. And the core uses a lot of arrayed meshes. So we've got stuff like all these lights, they're all arrays. All these wires, they're all arrays, and the high poly as well, which they don't need to be so high poly, but the thing is I just need to decimate them a little bit. We've got so many of these wires. Then we've got a load more of arrayed lights that just go everywhere. Like, I'm glad I merged them all into meshes because, oh my god, it's nuts. Like, the amount of work that went into doing all these lights in 3D because the light bounces off each one of them in a different way. Being able to do that was so nuts, but it was worth it. Like, it all looks really, really good now when I put like all the lights on and everything. But it was just crazy. Like even the bridge here has a load of arrayed stuff on it, and then I'm gonna cheat the interior here. The interior is gonna be a separate mesh. The idea is that I'm just gonna like cheat and go from here and just do like a cut, and the cut is gonna be leading up into there, and then in the EX fight area, or Methon X fight area, we can actually see back into this section, but I've just deleted the rest of the level, so we only really get to see this portion round this wall, because it saves so much. Like it's absolutely nuts how much I'm having to like load and then optimize. It's like with the rest of the core at the moment, I need to slowly optimize each bit. So it'll be like, in here we can see from the exterior that goes across the bridge, and I'd only really have like this section showing, and then for the next bit I can cut away the exterior and just have like this bit showing, not the next room. We can just go through. Once we get to here, I can kind of fake the back room there with like a plane or whatever. Maybe I can't. But then once we get like over here, I don't need that anymore. So then I'll probably just load in another version that has that door there. You know, because frame rate is so crazy at the moment. Then like when we get over here, we'll have that load in, because loading it in before then is stupid. The best movies cheat. Yeah, it's just crazy trying to keep the frame rate consistent, especially because like how much I'm loading in at a time. The one thing that was absolutely nuts though about the core in particular is you'll see here just above my head, I don't think that's the final count. I could be wrong. I think I might be right. I had a lot of... I can feel the chunks, and I'm not even there, this is Dark Moon. A lot of the area for the core, because of how I've done the effects and everything, or rather how I've done it and wanted it to look, I've tried to make it look like almost like it's out of Tron. You know, with like mainly dark, but like there's lights that run around it, and there's certain effects and other things that make it look really cool and light up certain parts. But because of that, I've pushed Blender quite hard when it comes to lights. Like, I've used so many individual light sources in this, it got really stupid. Like, Blender's max light source is, I think, 120. And I'm thinking to myself, oh god, I'm using like 4 or something for each character to make sure that I can control the directional light on them perfectly at all times. And then I've got to do the rest of the level as well, and then I've not turned it into like chunks yet, so I can't like... I'm going to have to delete parts and like save memory and frames there. But yeah, I was getting scared because I'd push the light to 79 here, as you can see. And I think I was getting close when I calculated everything to the 120, if you include like characters and things, and I was like, oh no, this is not good. You know, because this is like a really cool area to walk around in, and plus all the other effects that are going off. It's like, oh no. So it's been crazy. It's been crazy getting all this stuff done, and then of course I'm just freaking out because this took ages, but it was a slow burn, like going through and doing all the meshes and getting them all in the right places and welding every single set of lights by hand. Like, where is it? Where's the biggest section of lights? It's somewhere around here. You can see each one of these that I'm highlighting is a giant, like is a giant set of lights or other things that I've had to merge together like that, and that's taken a lot of time. And I've just been sat there thinking, oh god, this is taking forever. But it was worth it. And then I get back to Hotland when I'm still encountering issues with certain things, and including the design, and I'm just like, oh, so it's not that I'm demotivated. It's just, it's not even burnout. It's more just I've come back to something after doing stuff that's just easy but time consuming, and then I've come back to something that's complicated, a bit like when I was trying to design Waterfall, and I'm just like, oh, now my brain just wants to switch off. You know, it's nuts. One thing about Gunbreaker 4 that annoys me is you can't change the skeleton colour. I think it looks awesome, says Classic. I can't wait to drop the trailer, you know, when all these are done. Because, like, the idea is, I get Hotland done, and then I basically finish off animating characters for the demo, and then I put the demo out, which is why I keep saying, like, the end of the year, the end of the year, the end of the year, you know, because I was thinking to myself, I can do a silly thing for, like, the anniversary, and I still might try and do that, but I'm not too sure, because I'd be really rushing it. But I would have loved for the trailer to be out on the anniversary, because I've skipped 2 anniversaries now, I think it is. 2 anniversaries and a bunch of other events. Like, there have been so many other events that I've just had to drop out of, because I want to do things on my own terms. And of course, I can't rush any of this. You know, so it's absolute nuts thinking about all of this stuff. It doesn't help that, like, I'm also looking at Blender Marketplace as well again for, like, effects and stuff to make it look as good as it can. But yeah, I'm back at Hotland, and I'm worried about it, just primarily because of, like, designing all the other little details that go into it, and hoping that it works. But again, I'm like 80% of the way through, so it's not going to be too bad. It's just, I think it's just getting it past the finish line that's a little bit, like, tiring is the best way of putting it. And when you think about it, with everything else that I've said for this video, where I'm like, okay, I had to basically do the rest of the underground before I could get here. You can understand why I might be a little bit tired or a little bit drained and just like, dude, seriously? And again, at the same time, I'm like, I'm almost there. I gotta keep going. I don't know whether I should just take, like, a tiny break off to, you know, like, a couple of days or whatever to really kind of just relax a little bit more or not. Because part of my brain is like, yeah, maybe you should just have a little bit of a relax. But the other part of my brain is like, nah, dude, you just need to keep pushing forwards, because if you leave it for a little bit, there's a chance that you'll either forget stuff or something will go wrong. You know, you should really, like, ride the momentum and just keep going. So that's why I'm kind of, like, trying to do these streams as well, as to force myself into that mode of just being like, nah, I'm good. I just need to get these little assets done. So it's crazy. By the way, thanks for everyone that's saying it looks good so far or whatever. Let's see. That sinking feeling when you have to do work is something else. The thing is, it's like, I can't wait till I get to the animating bit. And the reason why is because then I get to see the characters come to life in these environments that I've spent so long crafting. But at least with that, I'll be able to tweak everything and take it nice and easy and stuff, whereas everything else, I feel like I've been under a massive amount of stress to get everything right. You know, or as close to right as possible. So it's nuts. But the problem I have, again, like I was saying, is it's whenever I take a break, I can't help but think about it. Like, this project is always on my mind, and I'm always like, oh, I'll do this today, I'll do this today, I'll do that today, and it's crazy, man. It's like, even when I take a break, I feel like I upset myself by taking a break, because I'm just like, you know what, I could be doing this instead. It's crazy. But yeah, it's definitely going to be worth it. Like, it's been worth it so far just to have a good time, so like, getting up to this now, I'm just going to go through what I need to do here at the moment because of what I've been doing. The microwave area, Muffet's shop. I'm not so freaked out about Catty and Bratty's shop now because I know I can change the scale of things. The connecting bridge isn't too bad, so I'm thinking next stream I do Catty and Bratty's place, because that is literally just tacked on to the side of the resort. Maybe I try and do some other things in between like that, because I've got to do like the giant mechanical doors for downstairs, the art lesson sign, and then I've got to figure out things like the boss area for Muffet. The stage needs to be done. But if I can just get like one part done, like definitely Catty and Bratty's, I think is going to be the easiest. Because it's just like a bunch of bins in a side alley. And provided I don't need to mess around with it, like, essentially all we're doing is pulling this section out. Where is it? If I use that, can I... All we're doing is pulling that section out there, just a little bit, just this way. So I can essentially put like an alley on here that goes like this. And then we've got like an archway, and we go in here. And there's going to be like a bunch of bins over here and a dumpster. The only problem is, if I want to make it like Undertale Yellow, if I wanted to make it like Undertale Yellow, I'd have to do some type of like fire escape or something that goes up. I could always make sure there's enough room on here for that. And then it leads on to like this section, and then there's a fire escape that goes up there. That'd be cool, because then I can have like an AC unit that goes up the side of the building, and then have a small, like they have in America, on top of roofs where they have roof access. There's just a door that you see on certain films, like The Room or something. Don't know why that suddenly comes to mind, but if I have like roof access there, and then have the like the New York City fire escape there, and then it goes down there, that pretty much covers that area. Makes that super easy to add. Ooh. And then we can just go from there and slowly add on stuff. But yeah, stuff like trying to come up with ideas for that and other things is just nuts at the moment. Hopefully it'll be good. Anyway, I am going to stop now and do GP4. So thank you very much, everyone. I shall see you on the next one. I appreciate you coming by. I hope you've enjoyed. I know I might have waffled or yapped on a little bit, but I figure it needed a lot of explaining anyway. So I'll see you next time. Thank you very much. Bye!